Hi, back. So this is what I showed you how to make or what to make last video. So in video 1, so this is a little pocket tag, just using up your scrap coffee dyed paper, some ribbon, or you can use anything. So that just turned out beautifully, I think. So we're going to follow on from that, and we're just going to quickly do this bag. So it's just started out with one of these American Crafts DIY shop treat bags. So I've just stamped the front. I haven't done the back because my thought process is that we would be gluing that into a junk journal on 3 sides, so there's another pocket at the back, or you could just glue that down completely like that, and then you've got a tag. We won't make that tag today, it's pretty straightforward. It's just stamps and inked and fairly plain. So I just wanted to show you what it looked like, what the bag looked like. So, and if we get time, we might make just a mini one as well, which I've started to prepare. So I've just roughly stamped that with my script stamp, as I showed you in the previous one video. I just inked it and I used the stamp, rolled it with my fingers like that. So it's not perfect, but I don't want it to be perfect. So, and then I've also just done the under flap of that, because what I'm going to do, we might start with this one. What I'm going to do with that one is I'm actually going to, wow, I've got some mess here. I don't like, this is me just being painful. I don't particularly like seeing those creases, so I like to try and cover it up. So it just so happens that this fits pretty nicely. It leaves a bit of a mat all the way around. So I'm just going to trim that off. I can't find a pencil, so I'll just use a pen just to make a mark. I'm just going to mark that, and I'm going to trim that off, and then I'm going to ink that piece up and stamp it, and then we're going to decorate that piece and then put that onto the bag. So just bear with me. I'm just going to cut this. So there you've got a piece of coffee dyed cardstock. It's not quite dark enough for my liking, so I'm just going to ink around the sides, and I'm actually going to put a little bit more ink on this before I actually stamp it with the black ink, only because the black ink doesn't dry straight away and it smudges. So that's just made it a little bit darker, and it blends in a bit nicer with the bag. Okay, so once again I'm just going to use the script stamp. I'd like to use this one, but I don't know what I've done with it. Sorry, just bear with me for 2 ticks. There it is, found it. So what I might do is I might use this one, so you can see it here. This is a Kaisercraft postage themed stamp. So I'm actually going to get my ink pad to my stamp and ink it up pretty well. Now, only because I'm doing a tutorial, normally I would have something else beside it to catch some of the rest of the ink, save wasting the stamped image, but just for the tutorial purpose, I'm just going to place it down and just press on that. As I said, the reason I'm doing this is because I find I don't get a really good impression putting these bigger stamps onto a block, but probably mainly because I have a very wobbly table. So you can see that there has stamped quite nicely. I'm just going to clean that ink up. So, and now we're going to decorate that, but we might just do just a quick and easy, fairly plain one. So, going back to your scraps of paper, so I would just tear this, just very roughly tear it. We don't need much, so I'm just tearing that as well. You can leave the bottom. We might leave the bottom straight. So that's only as wide as you need it. what I'm going to do is just hold that there and then just trim on the back. And then just going to ink. Don't have to worry. Oh, well, we may as well do the sides, but we can do the sides on the once we've actually got it attached to the card. So I'm just inking that up, just really roughly. I don't think about it too much. And we're going to place that. You know, you could even, if you wanted to, could even just tear that and roll it in your fingers, so you've got a little bit more of an aged look. And then all I'm going to do is just grab my stapler. Now I've got copper colour staples in here. It just adds to the look, I think. Sorry, I just need to get my head in here so I can see what I'm doing. So just staple each side there. So once again, you've got, you can use this as a belly band as well if you like. So that's the start of it. I'm just going to do very basic one this time. Let's use some of these big chat words. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to use happiness. I'm going to take that off, and I'm doing it all about the wrong way. So I'm just going to put a little bit of cheesecloth. So this is just some cheesecloth that I've coffee dyed. And I'm just going to cut, I don't know, I don't even measure it. Just cut a piece off. And I'm going to glue that down. Just put a little bit of glue. My glue's all clogged up. And just put it on there. Don't put it on straight. Put it on pretty rough and ready. I've got glue all on my fingers. Get it away from that torn bit because you want that to be seen. Excuse me. And then we're going to ink up our word. It doesn't matter that I've sort of taken it off, and probably all the stickiness will be gone from the sticker because I'm going to use glue anyway. So we can do that. Just going to stick that down with a bit of glue. Like that. So we could leave it and stop there, but I'm going to go a little bit further and I'll show you this. I do a little bit of mixed media art, not a lot, but my sister got me onto this shellac. So you can add these shellac chips in water and it acts as a liquid. It's really beautiful. In one of my previous videos, I've got a bee journal there that I've done a couple of the tags with the liquid shellac, and it looks like honey. So I was just I was actually looking for my micro beads the other night, and because my work area was such a pigsty, of course I couldn't find them. So I came across the shellac and thought, oh well, let's see what happens with that. So it's just these little chips, and all I did was just put some glue down and crunched it into the glue. Now it's a bit messy and you'll have excess, but you can sort of manipulate it where you want to go. Just shake off any excess that you don't want. You can use these. If you've got glue on your fingers, you're going to have shellac all over you. So So it just gives it, and it doesn't peel off. I've got a couple of tags there that I've done. It doesn't come off. So I don't know. I quite like it. You might, and it just gives it a little bit of, I don't know, it could even look like rust or something's been sat down on the piece of paper that makes it look a little bit older and dirty. Yeah, I don't know. The light's not real good, I'm sorry, but hopefully you can get a little bit of an idea of what's going on there. So there you go. Pretty much you've got another tag. So what we're going to do now is just glue that down to our paper bag. So go right to the edges. I have a problem with glue. I always put too much on and it goes everywhere. And then obviously a little bit in the middle so that it all sticks down nicely. Oh, and don't drop it on your project like that. And then just place it down like that. Just clear up the glue so I don't stick something in it. And there you have a cute little bag for your journal, decorated using scraps of paper, fabric, all sorts of that. So it's endless. It really is endless what you can do. But so that's that, and that can close down. You can put a closure on there if you wanted to. So that's that one. So we'll quickly do a larger one. So we'll do one of these. Now, same thing. What I might do, because I've done one with the postage stamp, I might do one with let's do one with this Hessian cheesecloth looking stamp. So ink up your stamp quite well. I'll just stand up to do this. Pop it down. So once again, it hasn't come out perfect, but as you saw before in the previous video, when there are a few spots that were not inked on. Once you start adding your distress ink, you can't even notice that. So so what I might do is I'm going to go round quickly with the distress ink on the edges. I need a new, I've got two of these and they're both pretty well hatted. I don't know, I've probably had them for going on 6 years now, so it's probably time that I get a new one. I have re-inked them, but they just don't seem to work as well. So you can see the spots there, and probably it's a good idea to wait and let your black ink dry first, but it doesn't, wasn't a perfect image that I've stamped there, so it doesn't really matter, because I'll show you these were a couple that I stamped on the with the block before, so they haven't turned out the greatest either. I'm using the black ink now. You could continue using the black ink, that doesn't look too bad actually. Just have to get another pad because I put black ink on that other one. So just really roughly, and then just see, it looks like aged wallpaper, doesn't it? How cool does that look? So don't throw that out. You can use that. Nothing wrong with that one. So okay, so this one we're going to do, I'll just show you how I put this one together. It's really not that hard. Same sort of thing. Sorry, I'm just rummaging around in my little box of goodies here. So here's some torn paper. So we'll use that. And I'm just going to line that up like that. And I'm going to trim that off. Same thing with ink. Really rough. So there we have our base. Now what I did, because it's a bag and I want to be able to access, you know, right into there, what I've done is I've just stapled on the edges so it looks like they've actually been stapled to the bag. So do that first. And then we're going to decorate that. So I dyed some paper doilies earlier. So this is using antique linen distress stain. This one is Vintage Photo, which comes out green looking on that doily. And this one is Gathered Twigs. So I've used the Gathered Twigs on here. So these are just some that were torn and whatever that I've just had sitting in my stash. So I thought I'll ink them up. So I don't know, I might use this one. We might even do something completely different. Let's work on, I quite like that whole thing on there, but what I might do is I might just cut that doily in half. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here now, guys. So we could even add a little bit of ink to darken that up. Just a little bit. Make it look a little bit older. Does it blend in a bit too much? Probably does, doesn't it? Okay. Let's make it a little bit darker. So probably could have just used the darker doily. But look at the difference. This is Vintage Photo in the ink pad compared to Vintage Photo in the distress stain, and I've shaken it, so I don't know whether mine is off or old or something's wrong with it, or whether that's what they look like. Let me know if you know, because I'd be interested. That's better. So that sort of stands off from the bag a little bit more there. So I'm just going to glue that down. Just going to glue that down roughly like that. Work out where I want to put that. I'm going to glue that down as well. I'm going to leave it as a probably not even in frame there. I'm going to leave that as a belly band as well. So just in case I decide I want to put it in a journal and add a tag or something in there. So just work out where you want to place that. See what I mean? I've got glue everywhere. I always put too much on. So actually, you know what I'm going to do? Because that, how's that? I don't know whether that doily is going to impede. Oh no, I thought the doily might impede on putting anything in there using that as a belly band, but it's okay. So we'll leave that as that is there. Once again, if we use a bit of cheesecloth, either one piece or two pieces there. Anyway, we'll just glue that. I think there's two pieces there, but the glue should adhere it down. So just put a little bit of glue. Yeah, see, there's two pieces. It's like the napkins, isn't it? If you don't get that last layer off, you lift your top layer. So just stick that down roughly. I don't know. I think I might add. I got these die cuts from a garage sale. There's a haul video that I've done. If you haven't seen it, go and check out all the goodies I got for really cheap. I might do something like that. Maybe just add a die cut. I'm just going to ink around roughly around the edges. So this just allows each layer to stand out from the layer prior and gives it an aged look. Something like that. I don't know. I used to really overthink everything, so we've got to remember that we're just going to we don't want to glue it down to the paper bag because we're using this as a tuck spot. So we just want to glue that down. Yeah, I used to overthink everything and I'd never get anything done. And I was watching some YouTube videos the other day, and I can't really, look, honestly, I don't know who it was saying, you know, just don't overthink it, just do it. And I've taken that on board lately, and I tell you what, I've really been quite productive. So I'm just going to use these Tim Holtz words again, and I'm going to put Timeless on this one. So we'll just ink that up. Bit of glue. And I'll pop it down here. And just sort of stick that down. And I think I'm going to put need some tweezers or something. I'm just going to put a couple of little pearls. A couple of little pearls if I can pick them up. Oh dear. I don't know, just to add a little something on the side here. I'll go the odd numbers. So there you have another bag. How quick was that? I'll just pinch the tag out of this one and pop a tag in there. And if you want to, you can pop another tag in the belly band. I think that's turned out really cute. So use up all your supplies. I mean, I don't have huge amounts of money. I've got heaps and heaps of product, but I've collected for over 30 years, so it's a good way to use everything up. So that's really cute. Okay, so that's the second one. Now I do have another few little tags that I wanted to show you. So these are using scraps as well. So what I might do is, so that these aren't too long, I'll come back and I'll just do a third one for these little tags, and then hopefully I've inspired you to have a little bit of a play with your scraps, see what you come up with. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.